Hi, I'm Tom Head, founder of Childhood Cancer Society, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Childhood Cancer Society's mission is to help families struggling with medical expenses, transportation costs, as well as provide gifts and special events to help facilitate a more positive healing environment. We're a volunteer-managed organization, meaning that we strive to mitigate administrative expenses as to maximize the amount of your dollars that reaches sick children and their families struggling with a childhood cancer diagnosis. I started Childhood Cancer Society a number of years ago because of a personal hematological disorder that I had struggled with. While I was being evaluated for childhood leukemia at 7 years old, I noticed that it was really important to have the support of your family during such a difficult time. And I was very fortunate. I went through a battery of tests and weekly blood work, and they arrived at an ITP diagnosis, idiopathic thrombocytopenic purpura, which simply stated is an unknown reason for the platelet count to drop, which is one of the symptoms that you have when you have leukemia. During my time struggling with ITP, I spent a lot of time in pediatric hematology and oncology, and I got to know some of the patients there who were struggling with the challenges of treatment. Chemo and radiation for a child is a very traumatizing experience, and it's really difficult when your parents are watching you go through this and then you watching them worry as well. I would even see situations where there was a little boy who was my age, 7 years old, and he had lost all his hair because of chemo and radiation. And I noticed his father had also shaved his head, and it was to make him feel less self-conscious about it. And then I noticed the mother was also going through a really challenging time, and she was weeping in private. And these sort of things really resonated with me because that could have been us. Could have been any of us. You never really deserve childhood cancer, but sometimes these things just happen and there's nothing you can do. And it really resonated with me when I saw that happening, and I spent a lot of time going to and from the hospital and witnessing this at a young age, and it really impacted me on a personal level. And so I always knew I wanted to do something to give back. During my time of struggling with a very low platelet count, my sports were limited, so I eventually found an interest in an outlet in acting. And I did a summer camp, a comedy camp, and then I was in a play, and I had the good fortune of getting picked up by an acting management company and got my first commercial at 12 years old. And I wanted to use the money that I earned from that to do something special for the people who really mattered to me. And I bought a bunch of video games and PlayStations and brought them to Hackensack University Medical Center in Hackensack, New Jersey. And I saw the kids take really kindly to that donation because video games allow children an outlet to kind of escape their situation at the time. And while you're going through treatment, having that sort of distraction can really be the difference maker. And so I saw how effective that was, and I knew that one day I would want to do more. So years later, when I was about 16, I had heard about the tsunami in the Indian Ocean. I believe it was 2005. And you heard about nonprofits, 501c3 nonprofits starting to rally to help those affected by the tsunami. And I Googled, I was a child of Google, so I Googled, what is this 501c3 nonprofit? And I found out that it was the most effective way to raise money because of the tax deduction and the tax exemption status. So I put together a list of names that we would have been happy with, organized a board of directors, and 6 months later, we were very fortunate. We received our tax exemption status, and Childhood Cancer Society was born. It started out as a bunch of high school fundraisers. We sold teddy bears at the time, still have our teddy bears. And it evolved from high school. I brought it to New York with me at NYU, and friends of mine started to become attracted to helping, and then even beyond that into my professional life. Other benevolent people who were also very altruistic and feeling very sympathetic towards the cause started to accumulate around the organization, and really was a beautiful thing. And I always believed that the spirit of the mission and the cause would always attract the best of people. And since rallying all of these supporters, an amalgamation of support has started to form around us, and it's been really exciting helping to raise all this money for these kids because it's always been my calling, and I've always known that I've always wanted to do this, and to watch this grow and expand into all the areas that it has been one of the most fulfilling causes of my life. So I wanted to thank you all for coming to visit this page, becoming a part of the cause. It's my pleasure to share with you all of the help that we do, because your donation and your support really makes a difference. And it's my pleasure to share that with you. So thank you for visiting. Please click at the link below or the donation in the top right corner. And thank you so much for your help and support.